Mind your behavior, as your behavior tells the complete story about you. Your habits, mind it, your habits tell the whole story about you. It tells everything, and everything means everything. The way we deal with people, the way we behave with our juniors, with our seniors, and our elders, the way we talk to people tells everything about us. So be very cautious about developing the kind of habits you are developing. You don't believe me? I'll tell you a simple story about it. That once a man went to a king. He requested the king to give him some work. The king asked the man what qualifications he has and what can he do, or what qualities he has. The man replied, I don't know much about my qualifications, but I'm ready to do any kind of work. And yes, I definitely have a peculiar quality in me that if I spend some time with a person or even with an animal, I come to know everything about the person or the animal. The king was surprised to hear about this and made him the in charge of his favorite horses. The man readily accepted the work and started his job from the very first day. The king told him, remember, I will test this quality of yours in near future. Once, when the king was on his round of the palace and the kingdom, he went to the stable, asked the man, tell me about this horse. Would you be able to tell me something about this horse? Yes, of course, the man said. The man replied, this horse claimed to be of a very high breed, but I don't think so, that this horse belongs to a high breed. The king was annoyed and was also surprised to hear this, and without asking anything further, went back to his palace and summoned the trader from whom the horse was bought. The king asked the trader to tell him about the history of the horse, how the horse was born, and how the horse was brought up. The trader told the king, my lord, the horse definitely belongs to a high-class breed. But the problem was that when the horse was born, its mother died. And the horse was brought up with cows. The horse was fed with cow's milk. Oh my God! The king was surprised to hear this and went back to the man into the stable and asked the man, how did he come to know all this about the horse? The man replied, every horse has a way of eating grass. When horses eat grass, they pluck the grass, raise their head, and then eat the grass. But this horse keeps its head grounded while eating the grass. This is not the habit or the trait of horse, whereas this is the trait of cows. That's why I told you, my lord, this horse does not seem to be of a very high-class breed. The king was highly surprised to gauge the knowledge of the man. On being happy, the king sent a lot of food grains, domestic animals like cows, buffaloes, sheep, and goats to the man's house. Now the man was promoted to the special guards of the queen. Great, the man was happy. The king went back, and next day onwards, he was the member of the special guards of the queen. After some time, the king, when was visiting the palace of the queen, met the man and thought of testing his knowledge again. The king asked the man, why don't you tell me something about the queen? The man was surprised why the king is asking about the queen, but probably the king was testing his knowledge. The man replied, my lord, the queen seems to be brought up in a very high-class family, in a royal family. Her manners, her etiquettes are like a queen. But I don't think that the queen belongs to a royal blood. Oh my God. The king was shocked to hear this, was annoyed, and left the palace and left the kingdom for 2 days. The king went to meet his mother-in-law, that is the mother of the queen, and asked his mother-in-law, "Mother, tell me something about the queen. Tell me something about her birth, about how she was brought up. I want to know everything because I have a doubt in my mind." The mother-in-law of the king was surprised that after so many years, why the king is asking about the queen. What might have happened? But the mother-in-law had to reply, "When our daughter was born, your father fixed the matrimonial alliance with our kingdom and promised that his son, that is you, will be married to our daughter. Then, unfortunately, our daughter died within 6 months, and we did not want to break such a good relation with your kingdom and your family. We adopted someone's daughter and brought her up like our own daughter in the palace." Oh my God, the king was surprised to hear this. The king went back to his kingdom, met the man, and asked him, how did he get to know all this about the queen? The man replied, "The mannerisms and the etiquettes of the queen are really wonderful. She seems to be brought up like a princess, but at times, when she deals with her maid servants, at times when she deals with her subordinates, the way she deals is highly rude and highly humiliating. This kind of trait is definitely not of a person born and brought up in a royal family. People from royal families, people from high-class families have a decent way of dealing with different people, which lacks in the queen. That's why I told you that the queen does not belong to a royal family." The king was again very happy to know the knowledge of the man, how accurate the man is. Just by spending some time with the person, the man is exactly accurate in telling about the person, about the characteristics. Again, the king sent a lot of food grains, some domestic animals like cows, buffaloes, sheep, goat, to his house and promoted him. The king told the man, "This is not your place. Now onwards, you will be one of my cabinet ministers and you will be with me all the time." The man was happy. After some time, one day, the king asked the man, "Why don't you tell me something about me?" The man was surprised to hear this. What should I tell the king? And how can I speak whatever I have observed? The man told the king, "If you promise me that you will not punish me with the death sentence, I will speak something." The king promised, "Whatever you have observed, speak up. I will not penalize you with the death sentence." The man said, "My lord, neither your mannerisms seem to be like a king, nor you seem to be a king." What did he say? The king was surprised, shocked, annoyed, and highly angered on what he heard from the man. The king, in anger, went to his mother and asked his mother, "Mother, tell me something about my birth, about the story how was I born." The mother was shocked to hear all this. Why my son is asking all this now after so many years? But the mother replied, the mother told, "For a very long time, me and your father did not have a son, but the kingdom demands a legal heir in the form of a son. So we adopted you from a shepherd. You are actually the son of a shepherd, but you were brought up here in the palace with us, in our care and our guidance." The king was surprised. The king was amazed at the knowledge of the man, and left the mother's palace and went to the man and asked him, "How did he get to know all this?" The man replied, "My lord, when the kings become very happy on someone's knowledge or on someone's deed, they reward them with gold, with jewelry, with diamonds. But what have you been doing with me? Whenever you were happy with my knowledge, you have sent food grains, cows, buffaloes, sheep, goats to my house. This definitely is not a trait of a king. It can be a trait of a herdsman or a shepherd, but definitely not of the king. That's why I believe that your mannerisms and you don't seem to be like a king." So, dear all, what did we learn from this story? Now, do you believe what I said in the beginning? Our actions turn into our habits. Our habits turn into the traits of our personality. And slowly, those traits become our character. So, take care. Be cautious what kind of habits you inculcate, what kind of habits you develop. Thank you.